Welcome to Tune to Life, and this week we're going to be talking about in the public domain now, the two-tier justice system.
That's right.
With the Justice Council,
Sentencing Council.
They're wanting to redress the balance of people who experience the negativity or the adverse
effect,
sentencing from certain judges or the justice system where they fall foul.
That's right.
Because of their race and so on.
That's it.
Redress that balance. It's been long in the waiting, but it has been withdrawn, although they said they're not going to follow through with it. They're going to fight it. And I think it's good. But there is a big caveat with that. And we're going to try and talk about, from our perspective, about it. There are lots of this debate we're going to have or talk about. It could go on forever.
Yeah, it could do, yeah.
It could go on forever. But in the real world, how things play out is very different. You have a lot of people very articulate, very able to put the point, pros or cons, talking about how it should work, what it's currently doing, or it's not needed and so on.
Yeah.
But the stats show you otherwise.
They can't lie. They don't lie.
We have... there's about 97,000 people in prison at the moment.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And let's look at, I know there are other minority groups and so on, but just look at black people.
Yeah.
How many black people are in prison out of 97,000 people in prison?
So there's 26,932. Now, this is in 2023, so it's probably gone up since that time. Yeah. So
and that makes up what?
That makes up, a third of the population?
Which is, but it's just 30%.
Yeah, 30%. Sorry, 30%. Sorry,
so 30% of it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
but it's 30%.
Of the population. Yeah,
and then black people make up sort of 4%.
Yeah, so 2 million in the country.
Yeah,
which is just
a small. So what it shows you immediately is that if you've committed a crime, and that crime attracts a custodial sentence, could attract a custodial sentence.
Yeah.
You're more than likely going to go to prison if you're black.
That's the reality. Yep.
And that's what the Sentencing Council wants to address. Because it's not fair.
Because it's not fair.
And you see, the thing is this, from my perspective, from a lay person, I'm not trained in legal matters and stuff like that. But the stats are the stats. I know there are stats will say otherwise, but the reality is that justice has never been fair,
just
blanket for black people. Never has been. Never. Life isn't fair or without its prejudice for black people, period. Period. In any way, shape or form. If you look at homelessness, the more black people are homeless than anyone in the other group.
That's right.
Look in terms of unemployment, we make up the highest numbers.
That's right.
There. In terms of pay gaps, we get paid less for doing the same work. On every single aspect, every single issue, we end up overrepresented.
That's right.
Everything. And, we were talking about this earlier about why aren't there black groups saying this, why aren't they this, why aren't they that? And I think that they're not, if they do exist, they're not getting the type of media attention that they deserve. So it makes you think there's no one there. There are one or two people that push the case, but on their own.
That's right, yeah.
And I think that right now, not going for the topic, that there are one or two are very articulate, very, very able and mentally agile black people who are fighting the cause and pushing it, but they seem to be on their own.
That's right, yeah. There's not enough power.
There's not backed up by a community. And I think the reason being is because the sense of community has changed. It's changed. It's completely different now than to how it was. Completely different. and people are working in silos or existing in their own little silo. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
And it's sad in its own right. It's sad in its own right, but it's just the way how things are. And go on.
I think that makes us, as a group, very vulnerable.
Yeah, of course it does. Absolutely.
Because obviously we've got nothing or nobody to fight for our cause, and so therefore it becomes a silent cause.
Yeah. And the thing is that when you have a body of people who recognize that this isn't fair,
yeah.
Because see, the thing about it is this, all right, which is no one's really said, is that no one's asking for if you're black or a particular person or male or female or this or that, that if you commit a crime, you shouldn't get any punishment for it.
Yeah.
No one's saying that.
No, you're right.
What they're asking for is fairness. I mean, Jesus, it's crazy how people articulate this, how people push the idea, oh, you want a lesser sentence. No, just want it to be fair across the board. So, for example, if a white male has done a crime, let's say burglary or something, whatever, that attracts a smaller sentence, and if you're putting all burglars into jail, put them all into jail.
That's right.
Don't just go, oh, this white person here. Da, 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 da. Now, let's get into this. There are pre-sentencing reports.
That's right.
When someone does a crime and they could go to prison for it, they could end up in prison. They will look at the person's circumstances.
That's right.
Now, these reports have been going on for decades.
For years.
Decades.
That's right.
Decades these reports going. And I don't know what difference it makes, because they're saying in reports it needs to address the ethnicity, the religion, whatever. It does.
It takes account of all of those things.
It does, and more. The circumstances,
aggravating factors,
all these things are in reports.
Yeah.
But really, let's get down to brass tacks on this. Let's get down to brass tacks.
Strict bone.
Yeah. Look, the fact is that within the judicial system, all right, when it comes to the courts, they're not reading it. It's having very little sway on the outcome.
That's right.
Very little sway.
You know what? It's funny. I'm aware of a situation where.
But we don't know. Hold on. Before we get there, we're going to finish the point.
Okay, go. Sorry.
Yeah. We're jumping. Yeah. It's having very little sway on what's happened on the outcome.
Yeah.
So some judges, it would seem, whoever they are, I don't know, who knows, will look at it maybe and think, okay, I will do the right thing and sentence the person accordingly, or all the people accordingly. Yeah. But it would seem that there's a system that allows for these biases. Yeah? Because I suppose when you get into that courthouse, that room, the judge is God.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah?
Yeah, without a doubt.
The magistrates is God.
Yeah.
They will dispense the justice that they see fit.
That's right.
Within the parameters of what they're able to do. Yeah. I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
So when a black person goes to court, whether they've done other crimes before or not, if they're going to end up in jail, they end up in jail. If they don't, it's because either the judge is looking at it and thinking, well, no, I'm not going to do it this occasion, or the magistrate saying no on this occasion because of X, Y, and Z.
That's right,
and they're being fair and normal with it. Or it's because that judge, there's a technicality why he or she can't do it and wants to. You know? And, you know, I think people in the system, within, probation office, I think see these miscarriages all the time, every day.
Definitely.
But can't say.
Without a doubt.
They will see, white males go into the courtroom with a list of antecedents, get probation, or get community service. And they'll see a black individual go into court. No previous. No previous. Alleged of good character, go to prison.
That's right.
And they're bemused.
Yeah.
They can't work it out. They can't work it out.
Yeah.
And and I've heard, again, of cases where it could be that somebody doesn't present a danger to the society or anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't present a danger, not going to respond to that. Their counterpart would have received like 100 hours community service.
Yeah.
And then they've seen a black individual go in, get a suspended custodial sentence, plus 300 hours of community service, plus a tag.
Yeah. They did load it up.
They load it up as much as they possibly can, whereas the other person may have got 100 hours of community service for the same offence.
Yeah.
So it's far more punitive.
Yeah, of course it is.
And everybody knows this.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this is not a secret. The stats are there, but it's not a secret. I mean, just to show again, even where there are miscarriages, where somebody might be picked up for a particular offence and they're held on remand.
Yes.
What have we got?
Yeah.
You got some stats on that.
I mean, I got
they're held on remand.
Yeah.
Now, you imagine you got all the people held on remand.
Yeah.
Now, let's look at white people who are held on remand. What's the numbers there?
Okay, so basically, this research, and I think the Guardian newspaper covered this. This is in 2022, just to give it a bit of context. They said that 70%, that black defendants spent 70% longer in prisons awaiting trial and sentencing than their white counterparts. So I think it equated to about 302 days for the black defendants, as opposed to 177 days. Now, the other thing is this is the other thing, which this is crazy.
Yeah.
The black defendants are far more likely to be acquitted than their white counterparts. So you imagine that they're spending much more time in those custodial facilities, but then far more likely to be acquitted.
Well, that goes to show that potentially the evidence that was supporting a charge was so weak that it wouldn't stand up in court and then acquitted.
And there was a situation with
wow. Yeah. So again, it should never have been remanded in the first place.
There was a story of a young man. I think he was 28 years old, and he was basically working for a delivery fast food place. Police came and arrested him for an aggravated burglary. They said to him that he wasn't going to go home. He spent 10 months in prison. Was free to go. What he said is that he said that first of all they took him, and he thought to himself, okay, it's not a problem. I haven't done this. I'm an innocent man, so they'll go through the investigations and then they'll free me, and they'll go through that, and I'll be fine. No, he was banged for 10 months. In that time, he had a baby boy that was born.
His wife was pregnant.
Pregnant. Was unable to see the baby boy. He came out afterwards and he said that, I couldn't get my life together. My life was just ruined.
So just make this really clear, because it's just a bit bitter there.
Yeah.
But so he works as a delivery driver.
Yeah.
He wasn't even at the crime. He had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with whatsoever.
And he was an Asian guy.
No, this is a black guy.
Black guy. Black guy.
Yeah.
Right. So he was taken into custody on suspicion.
On suspicion
of doing a particular crime.
Yeah, aggravated burglary.
And because the crime was so serious, they held him on remand immediately.
That's right.
Through fear of absconding. They wouldn't give him bail. So we've got to be clear about that. They wouldn't help him because he was, and it's quite interesting actually, because there is an issue again with black people having bail because they feel that black people will abscond and therefore won't be given bail. So he wasn't at the place, so it could happen to anybody.
That's the concern.
You could be walking around your own business and you can be held without charge, no evidence.
That's right.
Put straight into jail.
Yeah.
And then released with no charge. Nothing. Get on with it. And that period of time, you could lose your house. If you've got a house,
definitely.
You could lose everything.
It's just
everything. And these miscarriages of justice happen regularly.
All the time. It's not a phenomenon.
Regularly.
All the time it happens, yeah.
And so therefore, I suppose these it's quite funny really, because let's hold that there,
Okay.
and give the art this whole process up there. Now they talk about this 2-tier system.
Yeah.
And this 2-tier system was born out the idea, it got a lot of media attention when there was these protests going on about the 3 unfortunate young girls that were heinously killed. It was really, really bad. And there was outrage and outcry within those communities up north.
Killed by
but they were killed by a black
boy.
Man in Israel. Well, now the situation is this: is that they felt that he, there was lots of inconsistencies, information that was incorrect, saying that he was a refugee and he wasn't. He was actually born in this country. They say he'd just come over and just done this. So there's lots of disinformation to rally another issue.
That's right.
To rally another issue and push an agenda behind that.
Yeah.
But whichever way, it got media attention, and I think there were certain things happened that they didn't like, and so on, whatever. And what had happened, they, just for people that are not in the UK, they protested, and the protests got very violent. And also there were lots of slurs and this and that made against. Anyway, cut long story short, the government's response to that was to deal with it harshly, and to get these protesters locked up. But then in the way they went about it was probably not the best, because there was no prison spaces, and they had to release hardened criminals out of prison to put people who the first time offence made a racial slur or whatever it is in the, so therefore their whole idea was saying it's a 2-tier prison service, because a judicial system because of blah 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 blah.
And I thought that, so as well as them obviously arresting the people that were involved in violence and stuff, I thought that there was the other concern. I thought is that they went OTT in terms of people that had put stuff on social media that they were
that's what I said, they went on everything. Everything. So it's just a protest, and also people put in social media, and someone got into prison. But the reality is they had to let people out of prison to put them in there. And then that's where people started saying it's a 2-tier system.
That's right.
If you're white and working class, you get a word, which is not true.
It's not true at all.
It's not true at all, but it's how people feel. And the media follow it up and sort of stir it a little bit. Of
course they do.
And so on. So that's not the case. The real issue has got lost.
It has got lost.
The real issues got lost. And disinformation in that part. And the reality is the response now from the Sentencing Council and various other people who look at the inequality of sentencing and the judicial system, saying that we need to address this balance, it's unfair, and so on. And saying that, and the idea, people saying, if you're black, or if you have if you're say Muslim or Jewish, you should receive a lesser sentence. That's ridiculous.
No, I know. It's gone a whole nother.
It's gone completely the other way.
And that's the problem with it. It just gets lost.
And I think it's done that way specifically and purposely to throw people off the reality.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That it needs to be. So there people say, oh, if you're black, you're going to get less. Why should you?
That's right.
Why, if someone's killed somebody, why should you get a lesser sentence if you're black?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's madness. Yeah.
Why would you do that? The situation is this. What people are asking for is fairness.
That's right.
So if somebody is white and they went out to kill somebody and they got 8 years for it, for example, just random, just saying hypothetically, and if somebody's black and killed somebody and got 25 years, now that's not fair.
That's right.
The white person needs to get 25 years also.
That's right.
Or you bring down the sentencing from the 25 years to 8 years to match and make it consistent around the board. You don't make these inconsistencies, which is what is shown up by the stats. The gross inconsistencies, which always levers itself against black people. That's what's going on. So this is the issue is. It's just saying, well, look, make it more consistent.
That's right.
Make the sentencing more consistent. Don't just say, oh, yeah, you just make it more consistent. Yeah. It's as simple as that. You got to say, well, look, it should be harder, in my humble opinion, for a judge to say, well, okay, there's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl there. She did a horrible offense or did something that should have, but I'm going to give her a suspended sentence because it's her first time. And then a black woman comes in, oh, you're black and you did that crime. I'm going to give you 2 years. Completely inconsistent.
Yeah.
There should be some accountability.
No, there should be. Should
be some accountability with that, because how can that be? If justice is supposed to be blind, how can that be? How can that be with no accountability? Just saying, so if I, as a judge, looked at all my cases over years or 10 years, and, for example, 70% of my sentencing was obviously against black people, far harsher, how do I justify that? Obviously, and am I looking at the pre-sentencing reports?
Yeah.
Am I looking at that and take into consideration? I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they do read it, but don't care anyway.
Well,
we don't know.
I mean, the thing is this. I mean,
we just don't know, do we?
No. And you know what? The thing is this. I mean, countless times. I mean, for example, I remember a particular case where an Asian young man, 17 years of age, and he'd been done for drug dealing. Now, within that report, there was some mitigating circumstances because he disclosed that actually he was undergoing some bullying from his father for him to go out there and do this dealing. And this is a young man that really wanted to reform his character, really wanted to make a change in his life, and wanted to do the right thing. Did it, let's say under duress, but very difficult circumstances. He was doing what he was doing. And so within that body of the report, there were some recommendations that we look at a community penalty, look at something in the community for him that would help him rehabilitate. And all of that information
was ignored.
Was ignored. And he got custody. And, the reality of the situation is that, you've got professional people that are working with these people that understand in terms of what would be right and would, not trying to give them an easy way out, trying to say, right, okay, well, this would be punishment for him, but at the same time, it would help him rehabilitate in the community. But those things aren't taken account of.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is as well, is that I think that it's very similar to here as it is in America. Very, very similar. Very similar, where there's a less tolerance. See, the thing is, it's about crime is crime. Yeah. Right? I'm not trying to belittle it. Crime is crime, okay? But it's about being fair with sentencing. That's what it is across the board, irrespective of your religion, your race, your color, anything, irrespective of any of those things. Crime is crime. And sentencing should be blind. And it's not.
It's not.
Because then you're saying, if you're saying it's fair, balanced, and blind now, you're saying that the gross majority of black people are criminals.
Well, that's right. That's
what you're saying. Yeah? And then, no, hold on. Then if the people are saying that, then the people handling remand were probably going to do it anyway. Even if they hadn't done it. They're probably going to do it anyway.
That's right.
So therefore, we've got them off the streets. So it's just criminalizing. And, it is building, you think, where is all this coming from?
Yeah, you're right.
Where is all this coming from? And we know where this is coming from. This is coming from going back at the time. This is way back. This is, this is a view. And I think this is an unconscious, deep-rooted problem this is going back to how black people are viewed.
Yeah.
As lazy, violent, just criminals in the making,
chipping their shoulder.
Not all these negative things,
connotations.
As how, and it's always been that way.
Yeah.
And if you go back far enough, you can see how slavery occurred and things like that, because they looked at us as not human. They had to dehumanize us to be able to do what they did to us. So, think, oh, well, you're back on the slavery thing. No, but it's a point. It's a point.
And it's a valid point, and I think it's a very important point.
So if you dehumanize people and then all of a sudden try to rehumanize them within the public arena, then some of that processing isn't going to be eradicated. People are still going to believe, well, you know what black people are like, you know what they're like. They could probably do this, or they could probably do that, and they're aggressive and they're this and that, whatever it is. So there's all that running through. But all the way through, in every single arena, we are overrepresented in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Overrepresented in the wrong way. And the reality is this, is that it's quite funny, really, because, as time's gone on, people say, oh, that was a long time ago, slavery was a long time ago, we should move on now, do stuff instead of blaming people, blaming white people, blaming this. No, it's not about that. It's about how this system, the systems that exist, view and treat us. It's how it treats us, because when they're saying, okay, we need to work on evidence-based practice, evidence-based information, so that we can see whether what we're doing is fair enough. And it's quite funny, so they can see whether it's fair or not. When they do the research and look for the evidence, they see contrary. They say it's not fair, and then don't want to change it. It's quite funny, really.
No, it's
quite funny.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So, and it goes on to things like, rehabilitation, that, support, whatever. It fails in every level. Fails at every level. And, things have changed to some degree, but not changed enough. And I think that the fact that the Sentencing Council are going to address this, I don't know how it will change. I don't think it will do.
I don't think so.
I don't think it will do, because the reports, the pre-sentencing reports, the reason why we say this, because the pre-sentencing reports have always been there.
That's right. They've always provided information to the courts.
Provide information to the courts.
Right.
And the courts either will sometimes take it on board.
That's right.
Or in majority of cases, not take it on board and just bang up in jail anyway, which is what happens
now. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what happens. And that's in itself an issue.
Yeah. You know what is a concern, though, I think, is that, as you said, that people don't care. And I think, and I think,
I think people do, generally speaking.
And I think the concern is then that if people don't care, then what's the reality of the future? The only thing that's going to get worse.
Yeah, it's only get worse, or say the same, because I think the argument about race and issues, people are, I think, my opinion, I could be wrong.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I'm open if I'm wrong. But I think that, generally speaking, white people are fed up of hearing.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it.
They're fed up of hearing about black issues.
Yeah.
Even though it's warranted, black people, Black people are vilified. Black people still going through difficult times. It's a terrible situation that exists still.
Mm.
And I think that, generally speaking, white people are fed up of hearing about it. And they don't care anymore. Yeah? Generally, that's what I think. I think not all. It's a blanket statement I'm saying. I think some people are concerned. Some people want to do the right thing. Some people feel it needs to be addressed. Some people are trying to get away. But there's only so far they can go.
Yeah.
Right? I think white people are generally in a broad people in a position of power or change. That's what I'm talking about. are fed up of hearing it. They're fed up. And that's why there's no change.
Yeah. And all you got to do is hear the media, on the media, populated all the time on these kind of conversations that come about.
Yeah. It's like, oh God, here we go again. Here we go.
Yes, yeah.
Here we go. Yeah. Whatever. Not interested.
Yeah.
Not interested.
Yeah.
And I think that for Black people have been arguing the case, arguing for decades upon decades upon decades to have very little change. And they're tired of fighting. I think that's the key. That's the key. And it is where will this end? Will there be an end to it? And I don't think that it's trying to move an immovable force, isn't it? It's only going to be, I think the change will only occur when the powers that be, or people that can make real change, make an admission and look at the stats and say, we have a duty here to change this. And will it ever happen? I don't know.
Do you think actually that there needs to be more amongst UK population?
No, not about the population. It's about people in power.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, people in power, it'll only happen, or change will only happen when they look at it and think, well, yeah, we need to address this.
Okay, but okay, because what I was thinking is this. So what I'm thinking is that obviously the people at power, okay, they make the decisions clearly, but also some of those decisions are based upon the population of the country in terms of what they say.
No, that's only for politics. You miss my point.
Okay.
It's not about that. It's about people in position to change those things in power. It doesn't matter when somebody who's a politician. Politician can do something, but there are people that lobby politicians. All right? There are people who are head of a particular organization that deals with sentencing, like sentencing council, or you got people who are barristers, or this or that, whatever the case may be. People in a position of power. I'm not talking about politics.
Okay.
Politicians are politicians. Politicians will blow with the political wind one way or another. For example, the reason why, in my humble opinion, why Keir Starmer did the U-turn, because he saw it may be a vote loser.
Yes.
He knows what the score is. He's a lawyer. He knows the reality. He knows the reality. He knows the reality of things. But remember, Black people make up a very small proportion, and not enough to win an election.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
No.
It's collateral damage. Yeah, I'll go with where my voters my vote's going to be, and I'll go there and I'll repeal it, get rid of it, because it's going to lose me votes. Come forward right now, his popularity is low, and he wants to increase it, so he'll do a U-turn on that one. And so what if Black people don't like it? You just got to fight with it longer. That's what's happened. And so the Sentencing Council want to make changes, but it's a bit like a toothless dog.
Yeah.
Maybe barking, but no teeth.
And the concern is obviously that, in terms of what they're trying to do is the right thing is to speak. But also, I think I read somewhere that potentially they can be disbanded.
My point is, irrespective of that, it just comes back to the same thing I was saying before, and we're just repeating ourselves. The same thing, that until people are in power, not to talk politicians, but people who are in positions of power that can make real change, look at the information and grow a conscience and say, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Ethically, morally wrong. It's wrong. And we need to look at it and sentence everybody equally. Not about saying softer sentences for Black people, softer sentences if you're Muslim, softer sentences. No, not about that. Just equal. Yeah? Just equal.
Yeah.
So who's at the end of that situation? The end of that situation are judges.
Yeah.
and magistrates. They're the people that are dishing out the. You can have whatever guidelines you want, but the people dishing it out. Like, if I'm a judge, and you give me guidelines, a tariff system that for say this crime, there are 5 particular guidelines, 5 tariff points. I can say, right, you're black, I'm going to give you the top tier of that one. I don't care what you say, I'm going to give you top tier there. And you, I quite like you, I'm going to give the first tier. He's sort of operating within the guidelines.
Yeah, that's right.
He or she has done nothing wrong. Perfectly within to do that, based on the circumstances. But the problem is, within the person's circumstances, with the black one, they're not looking at it. They don't care about the circumstances, the mitigating issues. That's what's going on. Now, if they were held accountable, it may be something different. But I don't think you can do that because it's about blind justice and justice being free from political. You see what I mean? So that's where the problem lies. So it won't get better unless that judge or magistrate can look at themselves and question themselves about the way they've sentenced people and their moral obligation about how they look at the person and see, well, yeah, they did a particular crime, but are they themselves sentencing everybody accordingly? But the problem again is we're relying on their judgment. And if the judgment says that, well, look, I think black people are predisposed to crime. If they believe that in their heart, how can you change that? How can you change that? See, at the end of the day, no matter what it is, no matter what you do, this is my point. You can have a building over there, right? This is my point. You can have a building there, and you can put a name on that building, like, I don't know, whatever the name is, you can put there. And that building is populated with people in there to do a particular job, different various jobs. And let's say the role is to, I don't know, deliver food to hungry people, right? Deliver food to hungry people. So the building goes up and it says hungry people's food feeding service. All right? That's the name of the building. And there's a CEO in there, and then there are people, managers, and there are people doing various things, and there are all the people that deliver the food, right? Now, that service there is to help people eat.
That's right.
That's what it does. Now, you're assuming that that building operates like a machine that's faceless, that does what it says on the tin. But there are people in there who have their own personal biases that will filter through from the CEO, from the manager, from the board. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you do then a survey or an audit, you might find that hypothetical organization is helping mainly people from that background or many people from that background. And we think, well, why is it happening? Because people, they're just ordinary human beings with their own weaknesses, frailties, their own biases, likes, dislikes, and prejudices are born out in what they do. And some of those things are purposeful, right? They're doing on purpose. And some of those things are unconscious. It's a bit like when people go into a room and there's going to be a lecture or you're going to go and hear something, you're going to whatever, people go into a room. And you see where people sit and where they gravitate to. Right? Asians will sit with Asians and whites will sit with whites and blacks will sit with whites. People go, there's an unconscious move to where people will sit, generally speaking. Don't think about it. Oh, I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to go and do this. No. And I think that happens within organizations. I think it does happen in organizations, delivering all types of services, doing all types of different things. And I think that we can't be free of that until those types of biases are properly addressed by people in power. And then people are educated. Then you educate the populace. You educate the populace. And education doesn't happen. And I think the media plays a huge role in that.
Definitely does.
Huge role.
Definitely does.
And remember, media is not a faceless thing. There are people in there who hold very stilted views, either for or against people.
That's right.
Yeah, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
So it won't go until there is change on a human level by people in the media, by people in power, wherever, till they themselves change. And is that going to happen anytime soon? Nope. No. So it'll always be pushed in a particular way.
Yeah.
We see, we were talking about this earlier on. In certain movies, going back 40 years ago, 50 years ago, if a black person in the movie, they'd be dead in 5 minutes in the first scene, they'd be dead. And then if they were in there, there'd either be a pimp, doing some sort of crime, or some stupid person. This is why when black people saw Sidney Poitier do a movie, they were like, "Oh my God, it's a person that's intelligent, wasn't taking any shit."
That's right.
But he was like a breath of fresh air. He was like, "Oh my God!" And then we were trying to work out how did they allow that
to happen. Yeah,
who was the director? Who was the writer? How did this happen? We were because it's the first person. And why was that happening? Because my point is that it's just the way we're portrayed, and this reinforces. Because even now, there are some people still believe now that black people are lazy. Black people are more inclined to commit crimes and all the usual stereotypes. There are people that believe it even now in the 21st century. Even now, some people wholeheartedly believe that. Yeah. Sometimes you can be going somewhere, walking somewhere, and you'll still see today in the 21st century, right? A woman will hold her bag like this, even now.
I know.
I mean, like, wow.
I know, yeah.
Even now. Even now.
Yeah.
And with all, you see, so it won't go that easily.
Yeah.
And people feel, you can tell sometimes if a white person, feels uncomfortable just your presence.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Not because you're just a man, because you're a black man.
Yeah.
And you can feel their, themselves be uncomfortable. Granted, it doesn't happen as often as it used to, but it still happens. But I don't think there's going to be any change soon until it's addressed by people in positions of power and by the media.
Yeah. You know what?
That's what I think.
I think the media have a huge...
have a huge role in it, but it's not going to change until it's addressed.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be addressed anytime soon. That's my point. I can't see it being addressed anytime. I can't see things changing, even though people would advocate it. I mean, there are people, again, just to be clear, there are people who are white, who advocate the right things, but they're not in a position of power to make real changes. They may lobby, but no one's listening. Or pretending to listen. You have people who listen to you. And then nothing changes. Yeah. How many surveys have there been? How many reports have been issued? How many this, how many... And then just get shelved to give you the idea that people are listening. But they're not, because nothing changes. And when something like this happens, softer sentences, and people's thinking, oh my God, aren't you listening? We don't want softer sentences. We just want fair sentencing. See? So it's not then. But I think we're there's another point.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna I wanted to just highlight a bit, but it should be more about the media narrative in terms of Asian people as such. Really, I was going to mention. Really.
Well, no, I think look, the media will push here, and everything's political.
Yeah, of course it is.
Everything's political. Yeah. Just touch on before we have to really run now. But everything is political.
Yeah.
So let's break this down from my perspective.
Yeah.
Black people make up a smaller percentage, therefore no one's really worried about their votes.
That's right.
Yeah, don't really care. Who gives a shit about them? Don't bother them. The Asian population are growing.
That's right.
Exponentially. They're growing and growing. Yeah. And they make up a considerable vote. And they can be the body of people that sees you sitting in number 10 or not.
Yes.
Therefore, their concerns, their ideas, their wishes are going to garner a bit more interest and have a bit more effect. Yeah. That's really what it boils down to. It's politics.
Yeah.
Politics. It's politics at the end of the day. Yeah? It's politics at the end of the day. It's all based on numbers. Not based on the fairness and equity and all that sort of stuff. That's what it boils down to. Really. Bottom line. But yeah, it's a pretty sad note to end on. But it's just the way how my opinion on it. And it's not saying my opinion is fact, but it's just why I see it. And I know you can probably get loads of stats and argue everything I said against everything I said. I know. But the reality is what I see. It's what I see happens. My opinion is what I see what happens. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, really. Because as long as people can argue something different, then there'll be no change. The argument against, I think, is always going to be stronger because the system wants to remain as it is.
Yeah.
So the argument against will always be stronger, even though there is a strong argument to oppose that. But yeah, that's that's my point. But I think on that note, guys, we're going to leave it there. But thank you so much again to hearing our dulcet tones and us continue on to much fun as we do. But thanks so much for tuning in. And please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks very much. Take care. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.